Hi there. I'm going to guess you guys didn't hear a word I just said. Am I right? If you did not hear anything I said, put a one. We can't hear you. I actually have been speaking. The whole time you've been sitting here waiting on me, I have been talking for almost 4 minutes. Aren't you glad that I checked over here to see what you guys were saying? All right. So here I am. I'm going to start this live over, okay? All right, here I am. Hi, everybody. Today is Saturday, April the 2nd, 2022. And I guess you all found out that Mr. Scott Rice Esquire is not ending his channel. I knew it. I knew it yesterday when he said, "Oh, this will be our last show. This will be our last show." I was going, Scott, not a funny trick to play on your fans, not at all. Okay, now then. So we're happy to know that he will be back. He's not gone. And you will also be happy to know that earlier today, in fact, around 10 o'clock this morning, I went live to sort of do a whole rundown and introduction, catching up on all the facts related to Cassi Carli, the missing woman in Florida. And part of that was to introduce you to one Marcus Spanevelo, right? And I showed you the video, and we got to hear his weird little accent as he's talking about doing what? Nothing shady. He wanted to remove the OnStar capabilities on his truck. Now then, we talked about at the time. It was very strange, very odd. Now I said, this doesn't make sense to me and thank God they do have the baby. The baby Sailor, the little girl, is safe. She continues to be in state custody in Alabama. But what I couldn't understand was this guy has limited visitation rights, and he crossed the state lines with the baby. He did not alert the police that he had the baby as they were looking for her and her mother. And so then 3 days after Cassi Carli goes missing, then they find the baby with him in Alabama. And then I just found out that this morning, around 10 o'clock this morning, about the time I was live talking about this joker, he was getting arrested. So he's been arrested, but the very strange thing is that he was arrested in Tennessee. Tennessee. So apparently, after they took Sailor, the cops, after they got Sailor, I guess he got in his car and started driving. So he was arrested in a little town called Lebanon, Tennessee. He was actually arrested by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, as well as the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Now, his charges are, number one, tampering with evidence. Number two, giving false information concerning a missing persons investigation. And then number three, the destruction of evidence. Now, on another news station, they have come out to say that even though they have Cassie's purse, her purse remained in the car, right? Her telephone, her cell phone is nowhere to be found. And remember, there were texts that were sent to Cassie's dad the night that she went missing. Where she was going to pick up Sailor was only about 10 minutes from her dad's house. She would have gone, picked up the baby, and come straight back to the dad's house or the grandpa's house. So it wasn't like a big deal. But at midnight, he's going back and forth texting with this guy, Marcus Spanevelo, but he was texting on Cassie's phone. And the sister and the dad say, that is not Cassie texting. We know that's not her syntax. That is not the way she talks. And so they knew already that there was some funny business. But even though it does appear that Marcus may have allegedly communicating, pretending to be Cassie on Sunday night. At this point now, today, they do not have her cell phone. It seems to have just, disappeared into thin air. Now, regardless, these charges, to me, they stand out because they are directly related to the disappearance of Cassi Carli. Remember, the second charge was giving false information concerning a missing persons investigation. So, there is this link to Cassi Carli. However, JB on WFLA, he says, Spanevelo has not been named a suspect. He has not been named a suspect, but he is charged. He is charged with giving false information, destruction of evidence. We can assume perhaps that is the cell phone, as well as tampering with evidence. Cassie's brother, Anthony Carli, is quoted as saying, Cassie has been telling me for the last 2 years that Marcus has been threatening her. She has always said, if anything ever happens to me, it's him. Now that's pretty chilling. You remember O.J. Simpson, Nicole Brown Simpson said exactly the same thing. If I go missing, you know who to talk to. Santa Rosa's County Sheriff Bob Johnson called the disappearance of Cassie very concerning, as he revealed that investigators did find her purse inside her car, but again, no cell phone. The sheriff said there were things in the purse. We don't think she would just up and leave. Usually you don't go 4 days without hearing from someone. I mean, someone at least uses a credit card or a cell phone. So yeah, we're concerned. And then he goes on to say the 4-year-old daughter is safe, and she is in the care of Alabama Child Services. And remember, it does appear that they were in Alabama because he is working right now in Alabama. Apparently, his job sites, he moves around from site to site as he works. And so right now, currently, he's working in Alabama, and he took this baby with him, but then didn't tell anybody he had her for 3 days. Now, I want to draw attention to something. The baby is 4. Sailor is 4, right? She's 4 years old. You notice that the video that we put up this morning that we talked about was him, this joker, this slug, that it was posted 5 years ago on October the 18th. The other one was put up November, maybe 12th, something like that. 5 years ago. The baby is 4. So can we assume that possibly Cassie was pregnant at the time that this joker is trying to figure out how to take the OnStar system off of his truck? Possibly. What we do know beyond a shadow of a doubt is when he was asking for help in doing 2 shady things. One, removing the OnStar component from his truck. And number 2, he was trying to set up some type of electronic relay. He could not get it to work. And I'm wondering, maybe this was the workaround. If he could not remove the OnStar system without there being a trail of evidence that he manually removed it. If he wasn't going to be able to do that, was he trying to put in a switch that would have given him the ability to turn the OnStar off and turn it on? And remember, this is a system that's kind of sitting behind the scenes. You've got it on your car. You don't ever think about it being there. It's not in your way. It's in the dashboard, and you don't see it or anything. Now normally I think there's like a button. Mine has like a button that you press, and then an operator will come on, right? So So shady business. And you may say, well, why would he care about that? Like, why are you trying to say he would kind of like had the foresight before the baby was ever even born that maybe he was already planning on taking the baby and getting rid of the mother, right? Well, here's one of the reasons why. His own mother lives in Brazil, right? He's from Brazil. That's why he has kind of an unusual accent. So his mom lives in Brazil, and she has up on her Facebook page where she put a post up a couple of days ago, and it says there's a picture of Sailor. She's playing on the sand on the beach with the water nearby, and in that she leaves a message that says, "What a pretty miss," like a little girl, what a pretty little girl. And then below it says, "Counting the hours and minutes." Oh, really? You're counting the hours and minutes until what? Until this joker right here brings that baby to you? Right? So there was at least 5 years where there was, in the little bit that you and I know, there was at least 5 years that the guy is doing weird things. You agree? He's kind of I mean, it is shady to want to disconnect your OnStar. Okay, now then. So this is Marcus Spanevelo, Mr. Control Freak Extraordinaire, by report of Cassi Carli. And I'm just going to ask you guys what y'all think. Does the man look like he's been punched in the nose? I think yes. So here's a picture of Marcus when he has not been punched in the nose. And here's a picture when maybe he has been punched in the nose, which a little bit, if you're being snarky, Jules, it's a little satisfying. I'm not going to lie. Okay. I'm not above that. You know, if we're going to punch someone in the nose, maybe it's best to punch a guy that allegedly caused the disappearance of the mother of his child. That might be a better use of your hand than punching a great guy like Chris Rock. Okay. Now then, this is sad. Or no. This is angry Marcus. This is happy Marcus. This is angry Marcus. This is happy Marcus. And this is Marcus with what looks like a baby bird nose. Looks completely different. The profile looks much different, doesn't it? And that's his Chevy. This is his driver's license photo. But again, look at this. Remember this morning I talked about the difference in the way that Cassie looks, where she's all dolled up and looking really pretty to go out, as opposed to the days where she's being regular and just going about her normal life, right? Look at the difference in this front on, straight on photograph. His chin is up a bit, and then what he really looks like. I'm not sure that I would pick this guy out as being him. I think we need to be careful when these people go missing. I think we need to be careful about the photographs that we put up. There was that same question that happened with Summer Wells. She was completely bald when she went missing. And yet they were putting Candace turned over photographs of when Summer's hair was down to her shoulders. So it didn't even look like the same baby, right? So we do need to be, I think, more cognizant of making our photographs match a little bit clearer. Such a pretty lady. Isn't she beautiful? I just wouldn't have picked him out as the same guy, would you? It's crazy how different he looks. And of course, We don't have to worry about it anymore because that smile right there that says, "Oh la la, I'm such a special man." Well, that's what he looks like right now. And, you know, you may be happy to know that he's in stripes. He's in stripes and he is behind bars where Barry belongs, allegedly. Okay. All right. So there we go. So he is arrested, people. Arrested, arrested, arrested. And it looks like he has a well placed elbow to the nose. I think it was a left hook, Kathy. You see how his nose seems to be sitting on the wrong side of his face? Looks like it's been moved over at least a centimeter when the mask falls. Thank you, Lise. You're exactly correct. Zelda says, I'm having blurry vision, was trying to remove my post, ended up putting shells, bells in timeout. Oh, it's okay, Zelda. Shellabella, it was an accident. Just give it a few seconds, and Zelda's very sorry. Ice cold eyes. He's not happy. He's mad. You can look at his face. I'm sure he thinks that he was going to get away with the whole thing, allegedly. And can I just say something, Marcus? Your ears are huge. So I don't know why you think that you're so special, because just look at those ears. Okay. Now then, those of you that have been on my channel a long time, y'all know that I always take a moment to like kind of tease the alleged bad guy just because they like to pretend like they're so special. And they're not. They're just normal, regular looking people like all the rest of us. But they always think that they're better looking and smarter and fancier. And we are here to remind them that they are not, that they are not good people. Okay. Oh, welcome back, Shellabella. Yay. Thank you for being gracious. AP says, and his eyes are starting to darken. Yes, they are starting to. Yeah, he definitely took a lick to the nose. I'm gonna agree. And he does look like his eyes are beginning to bruise, right? Oh, what's the matter, Marcus? Are you having a bad day? You know, it's probably it probably would help if you don't try to make your mother of your child disappear. You know, then maybe you'd have a good day, Marcus. It also kind of looks like he's got a goose egg on his forehead, doesn't he? Does he have a goose egg up on his forehead? What do y'all think? They do, they do, Lulabelle. The narcissist criminals, not all criminals are narcissists, okay? But those that do seem to have that personality disorder, they all have the belief that they're going to get away with their horrific crime, don't they? Yeah, he does want his mommy. Absolutely. Darkest Marcus. That is a very good name, Sketty Nona. Darkest Marcus. I wish they would take a photograph of him tomorrow just for us. I wish they would take a photograph of him tomorrow when he's got two really good black eyes and he's looking like a raccoon with a crooked nose. And then they could post that and say, just for the YouTube true crime community. Wouldn't that be awesome? It'd be so awesome. Okay. Hey, Justice for Summer. How are you? Oh my God. Justice for Summer. Question. Are you like in the know for what's going on with Ernie Shell and Benny Keys? Because I don't follow the story enough to know, like, something weird is going on, right? Because Candace was being friends with Benny, and then she switched over to being friends with Ernie, but now Ernie is like being hospitalized or something. What do y'all think? It does look like he's getting black eyes, no doubt about it. Yeah, I wish they would take a a photograph tomorrow just for the YouTube true crime community so we could throw darts at it. Oh, Bella, you're gracious and charming. Thank you. Okay, I guess that Justice for Summer does not know what I'm talking about. That's okay if you don't know. That's okay. All right. So I don't mean to sound happy. This is a tragic, horrific case, but man, I was just thrilled to see that they got him. I was really just torn up this morning. I thought, how have our law enforcement become such incompetent people, right? But they got him. Tennessee. It was actually Justice for Summer. It was actually the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation that arrested this guy. So they haven't gotten the person that hurt Summer, but they did get him. And a little 4-year-old baby is safe right now because they got him. No, your crown is just fine, Zelda. I thought Ernie was in jail. Well, he may be in jail now, but I'm going to tell you something, Shalimar. He looked like he needed some medical intervention, if you know what I mean. He looks like he looks more like he's having a medical event. But I don't know. I don't know those people. I watch sometimes in the middle of the night when there's not really anything interesting, and I don't watch very long because I get bored with it really fast. And I was just shocked that Candace switched allegiances. I'm just amazed by it. It is so messed up, Cinnamon. So messed up. I think Benny Keys is playing Candace. Yes, she's in Alabama. That's right, Kathy. But the baby sailor is in Alabama, but he was arrested in Tennessee, in Lebanon, Tennessee, by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Candace used some of the donations to help with Ernie's bail. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. That ought to stir up a hornet's nest. Jewel, some sketchy information was being talked about in the interview room earlier. I'll go over and listen to that, Brooke. Yeah, I just feel like I don't know what has happened with the Summer Wells case. I don't understand how one little girl attracts so many people that seem to be so outside of mainstream culture. Is that a nice way of putting it? And I think it's like a circus, you know, and it shouldn't be. She's a little girl. There should be some dignity where that baby is gone missing. But the YouTube groups have, I mean, it's just been turned into this. I can't manage it very long. It really does bother me. Something new with Candace. Yeah, it is. I mean, something has been going on with Candace this week, I think. Something about Summer Wells. Yeah, I'm going to go over there, Brooke. Thank you for giving me heads up. Ernie is in jail in Kentucky. But he does, when I had a video that came that was like a recommendation on my phone. When I watched it, it looked like Ernie was having some medical problems. You know, he was having a hard time focusing, and you know, he seemed well, I'm just going to leave it at that. He just seemed like he was having a difficult time. Hey, allegedly, Tiffany. All right, Don Wells has been questioned. Now it goes to the DA. And let me ask you this, allegedly, Tiffany. Is that the video where you can hear what sounds like Candace, and she's saying this guy, what was his name? Um, Porter, something Porter, that he was abusing small children. Is that why? What a disaster, man. Benny ratted Candace Benny ratted Candace out about another phone they had not yet turned in. That's why they're no longer friends. A 14 ring circus. That's about right. THC to the cornbread. It's all about Dawn Wells. I'm definitely going to go over and watch Interview Room and see, and his stepsisters in Utah. It is insane, Amber. I can't even keep up with it. It's I don't know. It's just heartbreaking, the whole I honestly don't think those boys, they need to keep those boys in a, like a, foster care where things are stable and predictable. It is a mess. How she engaged, if married to DW, and to whom is she engaged? I'm embarrassed they're from Tennessee. They've turned it into the Don and Candace show where Summer's rarely spoken of. Well, the video I heard, it was a nightmare. I know, Shola. I agree. I agree. I hope so. Tiffany, I can't imagine a decision like that being made to send those boys back into that hellhole. No, nothing's changed, right? That I mean, they fixed up the inside of the house a bit, but it does sound like it was people in the neighborhood that came and did it, not so much Don and Candace. Just look at the behavior that's continued to happen. It's so unstable, and they're so impulsive, and there's so much substances, and it I don't know how it's any better. I don't know how it's any better. I don't know how they could even consider letting them come back. To gather evidence, and he better throw it at the wall and see what sticks. And then you add the weird Ernie Shell stuff that's been popping up. And I didn't really know. Again, I just don't watch this stuff, so I don't know a lot about it. But I thought of all the people that were in this thing with Candace, that Ernie may have been one of those that was more stable than everybody else, but he didn't. That's not what I saw in the video. He looked like he was struggling, like he was having trouble. No, I agree, Shella. I had so much hope that they'd find Summer, but now I know better, and I believe Dawn and Candace may have had something to do with Summer's aunt, who disappeared as well. Yeah. So sad people and there was another comment. Oh, absolutely. So many suspects. Dobbs, Jody Sue, her husband, the truck that left their house, definitely Hunter, Candace, and Grandus, definitely Dawn, BK and Brad. Now Jose has come back. How crazy is that? So there's Jose who jumped into the mix. How many Andrews are there? How many Andrews? It's a mess. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. It's crazy. I went through some deep searches about the aunt, and it had a lot of red flags on the aunt. Hey, full moon, welcome. Yeah, it like I said, I just I can't watch much of it because I just feel like it's just a circus, and that's very sad. But I am very happy to see that they did in fact arrest Marcus, and that at least one of the charges is directly related to the disappearance of Cassie Carli. So I don't know. Maybe they were able to track her cell phone. You know, we don't really know, but let's keep our fingers crossed. It does look like somebody got him. Does look like he has a broken nose. Does look like his eyes are beginning to get black. Um, and maybe he's got a goose egg up on his forehead. But that's not nearly what he deserves if he in fact did have something to do with Cassie going missing. Again, I'll remind you that this man Marcus enjoys the presumption of innocent until he's proven guilty in a court of law. I will also acknowledge that his own actions, words, behavior, they're very uncomfortable, and he clearly lied to the police, and they know he lied, and that's where we are. All right. I'm the same, KT. When I really kind of got it, allowed myself to say, okay, I think this is going to turn into a real case, I'll go ahead and start reporting on it. I felt heartbroken. I did. I waited a week and I kept saying she's going to pop up, she's going to show up somewhere, it'll be okay. But I'm afraid this is another one where the woman decides that she needs out of the relationship, and this controlling, um allegedly narcissistic domestic abuser maybe loses control and causes something horrible to happen. It's just become a common tale, and it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Think about that little girl. It How does she grow up knowing the story about her mom and dad? It's just horrible. There's no good outcome. It's just a disaster. So, I do believe, right off the top of my head, you guys correct me if I'm wrong. I do believe that we also have a court case, a trial starting Monday, and that is Toddit, Todt, who was the physical therapist who built the US government out of $1 million and then ended up murdering his whole family in Celebration. Was it Celebration, Florida? Right? The town that Disney built. Um, there are already problems right off the bat before they've ever even gotten into court. And here it is. He admitted, he gave a full confession to the whole nightmare kit and caboodle, and they forgot to read him his Miranda rights. Can you believe that? They forgot to read him his Miranda rights. And so the judge has thrown out the confession. And he has now invented an alternative or an alternate story. And no longer is he admitting that he did it. Now he's saying that he came home and the wife had killed everybody. Oh yeah, he's this trial is going to make us furious. So while we're complaining about Iris and Eaton and No Drama Llama, it's not just Colorado that's having trouble with their law enforcement. It's not just Tennessee, although Tennessee redeemed themselves today by arresting this joker. He does look scary, Diamond. He is a scary guy by the stories that are coming out from the family. He is the hyper controlling, he's the manipulative, Mr. Smooth talker. Everybody believes him when he talks. He's a scary guy. But yeah. So we got this horrible case that's the trial starts Monday, and they have thrown out the confession. Crazy. Absolute crazy. Yeah, I think they're gonna get him, Tiffany. I think he's gonna the evidence is crazy, right? He was in the house with them for days while they were all dead, and he didn't contact anybody. So no, he's totally going. Um, Maybe some movement in the Lori Vallow case. Uh, there was there was quite a bit of legal motions requested that they would be quiet, and not released. And then they put it at the same time, they put in a request for subpoena, and they put out a notice, and all of these are outside of the public's view. So it does look like quietly she may now be considered competent, and they may be figuring out a way to get her back into the system and get the ball rolling on her prosecution. So remember, she has never even been arraigned, right? It's kind of crazy. So okay, I think that's it, people. Anyway, feeling good about Marcus behind bars. I think it's a good move. So thank you, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. And again, remember, this guy is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. All right. Okay. If I learn anything new, I'll be back. Y'all have a good evening. Bye. Saturday, Saturday, Saturday.